In this video, we are going to go over biology practice questions. So I've organized some questions on cells, cell organization, and genetics. So in this video, we're going to learn how to draw the genetic diagram. Now, without wasting much of your time, let's dig deeper into the questions. The first question is saying, Figure 1.1 shows two generalized cells F and G of living organisms. Part A is saying, Part A1, identify the part labeled H. As we all know, the part labeled H, it is the cell membrane. So you write there the cell membrane. Part 2 is saying, how does part H differ from part I? So here you just have to identify first that, okay, what is part H? Part H I've already identified, that is the cell membrane. Now what about part I? As you can see, this is the outer membrane, therefore it is the cell wall. So having the cell wall and the cell membrane, how does part H differ from part I? So you can say part H differs from part I in such a way that part H contains part I contains cellulose. So the cell wall, it is made up of cellulose. The cellulose, it is a polysaccharide. So you have to know that a cell wall contains cellulose, which is a tough fiber. This is a tough fiber which is found in the cell wall. Now part H differs from part I in such a way that part I contains cellulose while part H doesn't have cellulose. Yes, there are other differences which you can bring about by saying, no, part I, it prevents the cell from bursting, while part H doesn't prevent uh, the cell from bursting. So there are other ways of which you can say, but the best one, you can just say part I contains cellulose while part H doesn't have cellulose. Or maybe even my statement here, I might just maybe confuse you, or you can just say or write part, because this is a 1 mark, so do not labor that much in explaining. So you can just say part I contains cellulose, or it is made up of cellulose, while part H doesn't or does not have cellulose. Like that. This is 1 mark, and then you go. Now the other question is saying, explain the function of the structure labeled J. So the structure which is labeled J, it is this one. So what is the function of this structure? So this structure, its function, you don't have to name it, you can just go direct to the function, because they have just said what is the function of the structure labeled J. So the function of the structure labeled J, it controls, so you can just say it controls the movement of water into and out of the cell. That's it. You gotten your mark there. Now, uh, part 4 is saying to which group of living organism does cell F belong. So as you can see, cell F, where does it belong? The group of organism. Here you can just say it belongs to what? Animal. It belongs to animals, because this is an animal cell, as we can see. So you can just say animals like that. Then you are done for question 1. So let's go to question 2. So our question 2, which is B, is saying figure 1.2 shows the cell organization levels in multicellular organisms. So when they say multicellular organisms, these are organisms that contain millions of cells. They do not contain one cell, no, but they contain what? Millions of cells. That's the reason why they are called what? Multicellular organisms. Now, the question is saying identify the parts labeled D, K and D, M. So here what you just have to understand is this. Organelles, a group of organelles performing similar functions, they make up a what? They make up a cell. And then a group of cells performing similar functions, they contribute to the same goal, they make up what? Tissues. Now a group of tissues performing similar function contributing to the same goal, they make up a what? An organ. And a group of organs performing similar functions contributing to one goal, they make up a system. Now a group of system contributing to one goal, they make up what? An organism. Now the, they have said identify the parts labeled K and M. We have already now identified. So the part labeled K, it is what? Cells. And then the part labeled M, it is organisms. Like that. I mean not organisms, organs, sorry. It is organs. Now, they have said state the level of cell organization at which muscles would be found. So they have said muscles. We know, and we have to understand that muscles, uh, they belong at tissues. That is the level of cell organization in which muscles belong. So muscles, they belong at tissues, like that. And then they have said give one example of a system in plants and in animals. So an example of a system in plants, we can just say the vascular system. The vascular system in plants, or in animals you can just say the digestive system, or the circulatory system. Digestive system. That is your answer. You are done for this question. Now, uh, just a summary. Organelles. Examples of organelles are mitochondria, cytoplasm, the nucleus, the cell membrane. All those are what we call organelles. An example of a cell, we know we have the phloem cells. We have we also have ciliated cells. We also have gut cells. We also have red blood cells. All those are examples of cells. Now tissues, you have the muscle tissues. We have the adipose tissues. All those are examples of tissues. Now M as in organs, examples of organs, we know we have the kidney, the heart. All those are examples of what? Of organs. Systems, digestive system, the vascular system, or we can say the circulatory system. All those are examples of what? Of systems. And of course, organisms, you have what? Animals, plants are examples of what? Organisms that we have. Next question. So the next question, which is the last question, is saying figure 5 shows blood group phenotypes for a mother and her two children, father and mother. So here they have put it deliberate that no, we don't know the blood group of what? Of the father. So the blood group of the father, it is unknown, but the blood group of the mother, it is blood group what? A. And then the son has a blood group O, and the daughter has a blood group what? A B there. Now question A is saying from figure 5 deduce the genotypes for the father and the mother. So you just have to understand that the genotype, it's more like the inward expression. That's how the simple definition I can give you, the inward expression, but it is the combination of what? Of alleles which determines the genotype of an organism that is going to be formed, more like. So the simple definition which I can give you, it is the inward expression, while the phenotype, it is the what? The outward expression. So the genotype, they are the ones that are asking. Now you have to remember that blood groups, we only have blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. And then the alleles of blood group A, the alleles of blood group A are what? We have allele A, and then it is always have allele O. This O, it is recessive. Remember, A, it is dominant, while O, it is recessive. So the alleles of blood groups are presented by this I. So for B, you have blood group B, allele B, and then allele O as well. But for this is what now we say codominant. Both A and B are what? Are dominant. So we have allele A and allele B. Remember, alleles can only be written in two forms only, not more than not they can be four, as in when you advance to the higher levels of biology, but for now just stick to this. And then we have what we call this blood group O, and then it has alleles of OO, but remember they are what? Recessive. So here when you make a cross, we have already identified that the mother is what? Is this. Now we need to find the father. Now remember, the blood group of the daughters, of the daughter and the son, they are the ones that are going to help us to come up with the blood group of the father. So how do you come up with the blood group of the father? So you may start testing by the crosses, but remember, the only ones that are close are the ones that contain what? A B there. So when you get a B, remember, we don't have any person with a blood group A there. So we only have what? O and B. Therefore, it is possible that our father had a blood group what? B, O. So when you try by the genetic diagram, so if you want to try first, you can use what we call the Punnett square, which is in this form. So we are going to have the mother there. Let's say the mother is like that, and you have the father there, which is B, and then there you have O. So when you start the crosses, we are going to have what? This and that will be A, B, and then when you get A and O, it will be what? A, and then that will be O. And then when you go to O, this will be what? This will be BO, like that. And then this will be O, and then this will be O. Now we have O, yes, it exists as the son, and then our daughter is what? B. So you get that. As you can see, this is our answer. So you can just say father has, you have said genotypes, remember. So the genotype you represent by using the alleles. So I have allele A, for the father I mean it is allele B, and then allele O. And then for the mother it is what? They have said blood group A. So it is allele A and allele O as the genotypes. Now, question B is saying the daughter got married and had a child with blood group AB. What was the blood group phenotype of the husband? So, in this question, all you have to do is they have already said that the daughter got married. Now, the daughter has what? Blood group what? B. And then, since it has a blood group B, therefore, as you can see, B has what? As a recessive allele. So, you say you're going to get this like that, and then they have said he had a child with blood group what? A, B. So you're just going to test by for the father. So when you use a Punnett square, which is a shortcut like that, remember you don't have to show this, you can just do a rough work somewhere with a pencil so that it just helps you to identify. So we say our mother, let's say we put our mother there, and then we put I mean inside, you can even put them inside. No, let's just put them outside like that's okay. And then we have what? We have our father. So our father, so what was the blood group phenotype of the husband? Now we are talking about the husband, so we just have to make a test there. So let's say we have blood group A. Is A going to produce us with AB? So you have A there as the allele and O as an allele. So when you say AB, is it going to give us an allele which is AB for the son? I mean for the child, not for the son, but for the child which they are asking. So when you get this and that, they are giving us what? They are giving us that A and O like that. I mean B, not O. Sorry, that is B. And then when you say allele A goes with allele O, it's going to give you allele A and allele O like that. So we have already found that no, we are going to get what? Allele A and allele B. So therefore, it is the one. We can even say that no, our husband, the phenotype was blood group what? Blood group A. So they have said phenotype. So the phenotype, we say blood group A. But remember, even if you use AB as well, you can just try it. It's going to give us the same answers as well. So here they had two options. That's the reason why it is even 1 mark. So it's either you put AB or you put blood group A. But remember, you have to test so that the offsprings that you are going to have, they must have AB somewhere. So as you can see, you have AB, which was the first. Therefore, our blood group is A. They have said the phenotype. So that is your answer. Now, C, it is saying the father divorced the wife and married another woman with blood group B. So now we are talking about which father? This father here. And then, and their first child had blood group O. With the help of the genetic diagram, explain how this was possible. So, the genetic diagram, you start by writing the phenotypes of the parents. So you say uh, parents phenotype. So parents phenotype, you've input this. It is what? It is for the father. We are going to begin with the father. For the father, we have identified it is what? It's blood group what? It is blood group B. So you say B, and then for the mother, they have said what? B, like that. So you can just say, you can even write blood group B and then blood group B, like that. That is our phenotype. So let me just write so that someone don't get confused. So you say blood blood group B for the father, and then for the mother you have blood group what? Blood group B as well. Now here you have to proceed by saying the parent genotype now. So the parent genotype. So the parent genotype, you say, since it is blood group B, so you say by representing with the alleles. So you have B, O, and also what? B, O, like that. And then from there, you need to have what? You need to have what we call gametes. So gametes are represented by these, by the circles. So you say, you just repeat whatever it is on the on top there, but you have to put them in the what? In the circles. So you're going to have B, and also you're going to have what? O there. So it is B O B O. Now these are what we call now gametes. So you say gametes, and then now you do your crossing. Now the crossing, you have to be very careful. The crossing starts with the first one at the center, and then you go to the first one of the mother, and then you write. Now this is what we call our what? This is what we call our F1, or we can just say genotype, I mean. So we can just say offspring phenotype. So offspring phenotype will be what? Will be, now remember, to be BB, and then we go to our second one, to our second cross. So our second cross will go like this, and then touches that, and then this is our what? This is our BO. So you have B and O there, and then we go to the next one. This one is done. We go to the next one, which is that one, and then it crosses with that one. So remember, O is recessive, so we are going to have what? BO. So we're going to have B, and then we are going to have O, like that. And then our last one goes OO. So you see, it goes like that, and then touches like that. Now this is what? OO. So you say O, O, like that. Now remember, you have to include the offspring or the F1 or the F1 what? Sorry, this is not genotype, I made a mistake. This is what we call genotype, not phenotype. Our second one, it is the one which we are going to say phenotype, because remember, genotype is the inward expression, so our expression inside it will be what? So we say genotype. So this is our offspring phenotype, and then our offspring phenotype, remember, we are using what? These are blood groups. So you can just say, you can indicate by just saying BB. You can just saying this is our blood group B, BO, this is our blood group B, and then this is what? Our blood group B as well, and then this is our blood group O. So this is a full genetic diagram, and then remember, do not forget a cross there. So this is how it was possible. So you can even put the statement, with the help of the genetic diagram our O was found. So you can just say, since their first child was blood group O, because in the genetic diagram we have blood group O. So you can just put that statement. Do not forget, it is very important as well. Like that. That is our genetic diagram. I hope we understood. And then these crosses that are happening here, do not forget, that is what we call fertilization. So you can even put fertilization there, like that. Yeah, thank you so much.